Tuesday, July 10th, 2012, and we are going to go over all the trades that set up this morning and the single trade that we took. The results, let's start with that. We took an ES trade. We are plus 7 ticks on the ES, right? Just a little under 2 points. And I will go over that with you in just a minute. Let's start out. I didn't trade any crude today, right? So I'm going to skip the crude, but I will go over the NQ. The NQ and the crude, they both had setups, but maybe I'll go over the crude as well, just to show you the setups. All right. The NQ, let's just go over this right now. Starting here at 9:30. What we're looking for here, if you don't know, the trades that we're looking for here on the 4-tick range charts is for the A1, which is the blue and red line right here, to drop down below the BBC, which is this green line right here. Okay. When it does that, and we look for it to pull back up the green line to find an area of resistance. At the time it's finding the resistance, we want to see down here the cycle telling the long term, the larger term, is going down, and we're going to have a short-term pullback on the green line right here. On the green line, we're going to have a short-term pullback. Okay. When that happens, we test the BBC and look for a down close. Once we get the down close, and then we look for it to continue down. All right. So the entry would be right here on the down close. So that right there is an entry criteria. If you, I missed this right at the beginning, but if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to www.cfrn.net/apply and take the free trial. Okay. Now, that was the first opportunity this morning. You see the bearish divergence right here. We're looking for that divergence right there. And we'll look, it happened again right over here. And the bearish divergence tested the BBC, gave it a down close, and on down close, it went down further. We're here with bullish divergence. It didn't actually hit the BBC here before it closed up. Right here, it hit the BBC and closed up. We had bullish divergence. That would have been a trade right there. Trade would not have worked out. I use 8 ticks risk on my NQ trades. So right there, you've lost 8 ticks. Let's see, as the day progressed, the big down move right there didn't give us any opportunity because there was no pullback. But right over here, you can see it tested the BBC, gave it a close, and it moved up. And over here, let's just show you the divergence as well. Okay, right there was bullish divergence. The green pulled away from the upsloping blue line. Over here, we had bearish divergence. There just weren't that many trades this morning. Okay, see right there, bearish divergence, the price eventually moved down. And here we're moving into the break. We had bullish divergence here, but the MA1 was on the wrong side of the BBC. Here, the MA1 is on the right side of the BBC. I don't know where these arrows came from. But this was right at the break. All right, so I will show you this right here. We had bullish divergence. The MA1 tested the BBC, the price tested the BBC, gave an up close, and so the entry would have been right there on the up close to move up. All right, and you can see where that went. Over here, we had bearish divergence, but it didn't test the BBC. Over here, we have bearish divergence, but we have too many closes above the BBC. All right, so there's no trade here. All right, and that was it. It was really a slow day on the NQ. Right, we did take our trade here on the ES. Let's go to the ES right now. This morning we had, well, we had a couple of issues this morning getting started up. Well, I personally had a couple of issues getting started up. All right, but right here is where we took a short trade. Price pulled up to the BBC. We shorted right there, and we took profit right down here. Okay. When we took profit, I actually put my order at the +2 point mark to take profit. I I didn't have a target on the trade, and that's fine. That was 7 ticks. I had 1 tick of slip. All right. So we shorted right here. Price pulled below the BBC, pulled back up to it, tested it, and moved down. All right. Now what we're looking for on the 10,000 contract, you can compare this is a 10,000 contract ES, is the MA1 to drop down below the BBC, suggesting we should start looking for short trades. Then we wait for price to pull back up to the BBC, and we sell it, and never went. Next, let's look at, well, I'll look at the 1500 contract really quickly right here with you, okay? Right here, we were trying, or Dwayne was actually trying to short right here. When price pulled back up to the BBC, after the bearish cross of the MA1 below the BBC, price pulled back up, and Dwayne was trying to short the BBC right here. Unfortunately, it came within 2 ticks of the entry, and he did not get into it, but it went right down to the weekly trading zone. You see the zone right down here. If you don't know, these zones are distributed weekly. They're distributed Monday morning, and so we knew yesterday that this zone was there. So knowing that on a larger time frame, 1500 contract chart, the down close there would have been the spot, would have been a spot to enter had touched the BBC or at the BBC. There's a couple of different ways you can trade this on the larger time frame 1500 contract. Right here, for instance, on the bullet cross test the BBC, you could buy right here at the BBC. You could wait and see if it's going to drop through the BBC and put a buy stop on the BBC and catch it on the way up to the next zone, if that's going to happen. All right, those are just a couple of different ways to play. Let me find a 4-tick range chart here on the YM. There it is. All right, and we'll go through these trades on the 4-tick range. Okay, I'm not going to go through the crude this morning because I didn't trade any of it. I didn't even look at it really. All right, you can see down here on the bottom, we're looking for the same thing. We're looking for the divergences between the green line and the red and blue line here, which is the cycle portion of the shot. Okay. There's a little bit of divergence here. The thing that I don't like about this is that the slingshot, the cycle portion of the slingshot is in the middle. It's not overbought or oversold. I prefer to see overbought or oversold. Okay. In this particular case, it was in the middle, and it gave a pullback up here to VBC with an up close and a move up. It worked out, but that's not the ideal trade for me. Now, right here, we had a bearish cross and a pullback up to test the BBC with a down close right there. This right here. That's if I were to grade the trades like A through F, this would be an A right here, because it pulled back up, tested the BBC, and while it was testing the BBC, gave a down close, everything stayed red. See, the MA1 right here is red. That stayed red. Down here on the cycle portion of the slingshot, that is red. Even the bias portion of the slingshot was red. And we had a nice divergent trade right there. That right there was a beautiful trade. It was followed by another one right here. And from there, because the cycle, you see the cycle here is blue and headed up. So is the MA1. So on this down close right here, I'm not that interested. Okay, go over here. You would think because that moved down so fast, it would be okay, but I'm not that interested right here. All right, there's some divergence, but the cycle is in the middle. And I just said on the ES, I just said that we didn't like that. On the ES, I said we didn't like that. We don't like it across any markets. What I want you guys to take away from this, if nothing else, what I want you to take away from this is that we're doing the same exact trade setup on all 4-tick range trades. We're doing the same setup, same indicator set, same everything, all the markets. Okay. Right over here, you see the cycle is in the middle again. Tested the BBC, moved down. Again, tested the BBC, moved down. Cycle is in the middle. We have bearish divergence across all of those, but the problem is that the cycle is in the middle. Now, right here at 11:15, this right here, if I were looking for an A-grade trade, there it is again. All right. Hang on a second, Bruce. I'm just seeing your question here. How would I have traded the 6:30 a.m. down candle? What market was that on, Bruce? Tell me again. Okay. I'm going to continue with this. Right here we had the A1 was blue. The single portion of the slingshot was blue. We had divergence and up close. All right. And that was where we took break, right in there. All right. Right now, you can see right here now in the current market. We have bearish divergence, down, down, down. That was it. All right. Oh, okay. It was for playing on the 1-hour chart. Okay. All right. And that, my friend, is it on the morning. The 4-tick range on the NQ doesn't have anything right here. On the ES, let's see, they're bullish divergence and everything. We would have been looking for a long trade right here at 45 on an ES. Okay, at 45. It's had a drawdown so far, but it does have a bullish divergence right there. Okay, so the VBC right here is where we would have been buying at. Looking at 4-tick range over here, that's suggesting down on the YM. If we minimize that, then over here on a larger time frame, we're testing the BBC here. Okay, we're testing it right there, 1500 contract. And I would look for that to get up here to the swing high, and there's a resistance printing right there. So I would look for that to get up here to 12,700. All right. Now, it all depends, in my opinion, right now, it all depends on what's happening over here. Okay, if this is going to bounce up, it's going to drag this up with it. If it's not going to bounce up, then it's not going to drag it up with it. Right, then everything's going to go down. All right, that, I believe, is it on the recording. If anybody has any questions, you guys can email us at support@cfrn.net. You can go to our website also at www.cfrn.net, but you can email us at support@cfrn.net. That, I think, is where we close the recording this morning. All right. I don't see any questions coming in right now, so we're going to wrap it up right here.